Anxiety is like having a smoke alarm that goes off every time you try to make toast. You're just trying to do something totally normal, but your brain's screaming, danger, danger, it's all going to go horribly wrong. But what if I told you that there's one question that can help you shut anxiety down? I'm Suzette Bray. I'm a licensed marriage and family therapist, and I help people step off of the emotional roller coaster and develop the superpower of emotional regulation. If you are ready to take control of your mental health with practical tools, you are in the right place. Anxiety isn't just uncomfortable, it's that gut twisting feeling that something terrible is about to happen, even if you're just trying to pick a ripe avocado at the grocery store or driving to work. Anxiety hijacks your brain, throws every worst case scenario at you, and leaves you on edge, usually for no good reason. But here's the thing. If you take that vague feeling of dread and make it specific, that's where the magic happens. And it all starts with just one simple question. Okay, so here it is, the question that can start to unravel your anxiety. I want you to ask yourself, what am I actually afraid of? I know, it sounds almost too simple. You're probably thinking, really, that's your big reveal? But stay with me for a bit because this question works in ways you wouldn't expect. When you actually name what's scaring you, it goes from this vague, lurking shadow to something you can actually deal with. It's like putting a leash on your anxiety. Suddenly it has a shape, it has boundaries, and it's no longer in charge. Okay, so let's put this question to work with a few examples. All right, say you're on the way to a party, and suddenly your brain starts saying to you, no one's going to talk to you. Or, what if you say something embarrassing and everyone laughs at you? Instead of spiraling, stop and ask, what am I actually afraid of? Maybe it's not that no one will talk to you. Maybe it's deep down you worry that everyone hates you. Suddenly you're dealing with a specific fear, not a vague sense of dread. And specific fears are way easier to handle and way easier to talk back to. You can remind yourself that there is absolutely no person in the world that absolutely everybody hates. And so you can start to disregard that fear. Or let's say you've got a big work presentation coming up and your brain's going, if you screw this up, everyone's going to think you're a fraud. Again, pause and ask, what am I actually afraid of? Maybe it's that you're afraid of blanking out during the presentation. When you get specific, it's like shining a flashlight on anxiety's little tricks. And in this case, is blanking out during a presentation the worst thing that ever happened to anybody? No, probably not. And if you know what you're really afraid of, you can make an action plan for dealing with it. Also, here's a spoiler alert. A lot of the time, the thing you're afraid of is way less likely to happen than you think. So, why does this question work? It's called cognitive labeling. Research shows that just putting words to a negative feeling calms down the emotional part of your brain, that's the amygdala, and helps you think more clearly. So, in plain English, naming your fear forces your brain to chill out. It's like calling your brain on its really bad storytelling. Oh, okay, brain. So you're telling me I'll mess up this presentation so badly I'll be fired, ostracized, and forced to live under a bridge? Really, brain? That's your prediction? Anxiety can't stand up to this kind of scrutiny. It's like a bully who backs down when you finally look it in the eye. All right, so you've asked that anxiety busting question, but maybe you still want to tamp things down a little bit more. Let me give you a few bonus tips to really corner anxiety and make it squirm. The first one is asking anxiety follow up questions. So try adding follow ups to really box anxiety in. Ask, how likely is this to happen? Or my personal favorite, if my friend had this same anxious thought, would I be anxious for her or would I think she's just being anxious? Anxiety crumbles when you hold it to a higher standard. Another way is using humor as a tool. This is a trick I love. Give your anxiety an overly dramatic inner monologue. If you're worried about saying something awkward in a meeting, imagine your brain narrating it like a really cheesy soap opera. As she uttered those words, the entire room gasped. Her reputation shattered forever. It's silly, but by exaggerating that inner voice, you can make it sound as ridiculous as it actually is. Anxiety takes itself way too seriously, and humor is a great way to deflate it. Another idea is to practice, practice, practice. Remember, answering that question is a skill. So you're not going to be able to answer it well without practicing. The more you ask the question, the quicker you'll get at catching your brain in those worst storytelling moments. So here's my challenge for you. The next time anxiety tries to scare you, don't let it run the show. Stop and ask, what am I actually afraid of? If this question helps you rein in your anxiety, drop a comment and tell me about it. If this video helped you, hit that like button, subscribe, and remember, don't let anxiety be the loudest voice in your head. Tell it to take a seat. You're in control here. Anxiety is like a pushy salesperson. It's obnoxious, but if you push back, it usually backs down. See you next time and keep asking the right questions. Bye.